All right, let's go ahead and start this. You know what I'm saying? You already read the title. 2025 biggest fashion trends that are happening right now. I did my homework. I went from YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I've tried my best to compile everything into this one video, summarize it, give you my take. And if you're new here, it's your boy, It Ain't Easy. I talk anything from streetwear, fashion, all the like. And if you want the bigger breakdown of this, I have a Patreon somewhere down here. Make sure to subscribe. But with that said, it's your boy. Let's go ahead and start this. It's been like 2 years since I've made a fashion trends video, but we're gonna try our best. So let's get it. All right, so first trend that we got up. This is the LA starter pack. Really what the LA starter pack entails is a tiny t-shirt and some wide jeans. Legit, that's exactly what it is. If I were to define it, it's very wide, Japanese selvage made jeans, most likely made in LA, and a very tiny t-shirt.
Trying the LA uniform, which is none other than selvage jeans and a baby tee.
And that's exactly what you're looking at here. The wide jeans aren't necessarily the same that what we've been used to in like the 2000s with like quote unquote baggy jeans. These are just wide jeans with like barely any breaking. And the silhouette kind of has like this Gumby look going on, and this is no knock, this is no shade. I think this look is actually getting popularized more on TikTok than anything else. This is hot. When I say hot, I mean this is so popular that no matter where I go, I can go to the mall, I go to a vintage event, I go, you know, downtown in the city or whatever, I'm gonna see this.
I told you guys, you thought I was woofing. Everywhere I go, I see these goddamn pants, brother. Uraman, something like that.
Even if kids are really not really that crazy into fashion, that is the look right now. That is the silhouette. I think this is somewhat of like a rejection of what has happened this past like 5-6 years, especially after hypebeast culture with all the logo heavy stuff. And then it was like a rejection of that. It's like, yo, we're gonna go logo-less and we're gonna have like more plain clothes. And then now there's like a super heavy education on Japanese selvage, which is now coming down to a couple creators on TikTok. That would be Uraman and Iron Gaff. These two brands, or these two individuals, which I don't know too much information, but these two guys right here, you feel me, they're leading the charts. They are the ones, if I'm not mistaken, they're the ones carrying this trend to what it is right now. So much respect to those two. And right now there seems to be a really big support for independent brands, which is amazing, of course. But now like the consumer market is changing. A lot more people are buying into indie brands. But my entire opinion on the entire trend itself, the tiny t-shirt with the wide selvage jeans, Japanese made, LA made, whatever, is that I actually like it. Will I buy it? Probably not. That's not really my style. But I think what I like about it is that people, especially the young kids, probably Gen Z if I'm not mistaken, they're getting educated on indie brands, but they're also getting educated on Japanese selvage. You know, I know there's like a whole conversation around this, but they're getting educated on it, and I think that's good. No matter how you get introduced to it, if you stick with it and it's something that you appreciate, you know, down the line, you know, within fashion, appreciating high quality denim, it's a thing, and it, you know, it should be celebrated. You feel me? So that's what it is. LA starter pack. That's number one. Had a lot to say about it. Let's move on. Okay, fashion trend number two. I'm calling this like baggy 2.0 because we've gone through so many different silhouettes at this point, but it just keeps getting baggier and baggier and baggier and baggier. This is different from this. I know I just showed you the Uraman, Iron Gaff, tiny t-shirt, big pant. This is kind of like a tiny top, but it's more so cropped, and it's a huge emphasis on silhouette, and it's like the jeans are so baggy that it kind of got like this like bell shape or like a balloon shape. It almost looks like someone filled up the jeans. But if you want to achieve this look, really you got to get a cropped item, whether it's like an Averex jacket, a bomber of some kind. You got to get super wide baggy, almost parachute pants, but I don't think that they are. Maybe get like a wallet chain and some Timberlands, you know what I mean? Looking, if I really think about it, y'all just dressing like Lil Wayne in 2005, which is fire. Like, I love that look. But it's funny, 20 years later, it's like he's influenced an entire generation, artists and, you know, fashion influencers, all the like, really just dressing like Lil Wayne. It's insane, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. You know, this has been extremely popular. I understand summer's coming up, so not a lot of people are gonna be wearing the jeans necessarily, but it's probably replaced by super baggy jorts. I don't think that's gone out of style whatsoever. And I think another part that's funny to this is that a lot of people that wear the super baggy pants, they do this thing where they take their jeans and then they flick them. They do this like, they go like this. But yeah, anyways, I'm just, you know, I'm having fun with this shit, you know what I'm saying? But I actually like it. I like the baggy look. I still like the influence there. Anyways, that was trend number 2. Moving on. Okay, so for the next fashion trend that we got up is going to be, I guess it's called smart, the smart look. It's like the clean boy, minimalist, smart look. I'm trying to understand exactly where it came from. It's got a very like Daniel Simmons vibe. Shout out to Daniel Simmons. But it's a swap of different jackets that might all have the same silhouette, but a difference in material. A lot of these people have a lot of, maybe have a lot of appreciation for some of the fabrics that they buy or brands that they buy into for, you know, the artisanal piece that they're buying. Oftentimes it'll be maybe even a collared shirt, big wide trouser, you know, long socks, maybe white or black, and then they'll wear like a loafer with it. You know, what brands they are exactly, I'm not sure. You could probably do the very expensive route, and then you could do the very cheap route by just going to go buy some vintage and achieve this look. I think it's cool. I think this is a crowd that actually may or may not have an appreciation for some of the pieces that they actually buy, and they're not just doing it for the look sometimes, depending on the person that, you know, the page that you're looking at. So it's what it is. Smart boy, clean boy look. If you can, if I got that title wrong of what this look actually comes from or what this look actually is, put it in the comments. Moving on. All right, so the next trend we got up is not a brand. This is more something tangible and that has been popular, and I'm shooting myself in the foot for not talking about it earlier, but that's printing on denim. Yeah, printing on denim. Now you're probably like, what do you mean? I'm talking about brands that will print the distressed look onto a pair of jeans.
These jeans aren't real. Well, that's kind of a lie. This is a pair of Our Legacy third cut digital dual denim. These jeans are completely undyed. The entirety of its finish has been digitally printed on.
And I think it got popularized either by Bottega, Our Legacy, or Acne Studios. I'll show some photos here, but of course you guys have seen this. I mean, these Acne Studio jeans at this point, these are almost like a plague. You know what I mean? It's like they're everywhere, and rightfully so because they're really dope. But for those who are unaware, those are printed, right? That's an image that they took and then they put it onto a pair of jeans. They probably used the DTG printer to print the entire thing, and it looks fire. And I'm shooting myself in the foot because like 2 years ago, I wrote this down and I'm like, and then I took it off the list and then I didn't put it in the video, and I could have called it out. But for what it's worth, it's still a thing. Brands are still doing this. And even before the trend, this had already been around. You know where you've seen it? You've seen it at the flea market, bruh. You guys ever heard of jeggings? Yes, bruh. Jeggings been doing the printed denim forever. But now it's turned into like this luxury, you know, $700, $800 pair of jeans. They look really real from like three or 4 feet away, but when you get up close, you're like, damn, they did their thing on there, right? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty dope, you know. And I hope brands keep doing it, keep evolving it. Anything to do with denim, of course. You feel me? But that's what I think about it. Just wanted to call that out. Let's move on. Okay, so Puma Speed Cats, but it's actually not just Puma. It's really just kind of like this flat shoe trend. You know, I think maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, I think on the women's side of streetwear or just casual wear, a lot of girls started wearing ballet shoes. So the shoes started getting smaller, the pants started getting bigger. I'm not sure why, but that trend also went over to the men's side. And that's the reason why we got tiny t-shirts, big wide jeans, and flat shoes. You know, anywhere from Puma, I believe Nike is also gonna do their own rendition to this. Louis Vuitton also is going to be coming out, if not already had dropped, a smaller shoe that kind of looks like a speed cat of some kind. And also, somehow cleats are a thing, but I believe that's like somewhat of a smaller micro trend. So I'm gonna kind of keep it more on topic here. Honestly, I think that this was bound to happen. It was bound to happen because after a while, a lot of brands, they got, it's not that they got played out. It's like everyone started buying kind of the same thing. We were all buying, you know, dad shoes, which dad shoes turned into like this New Balance trend. And then the New Balance trend, you know, came after the Jordans, and then people were kind of off Nike. We're like, oh, we don't rock Nikes no more, whatever. And then it moved on to Asics, and it was like a running shoe trend going on. And then all of a sudden it's hiking, right? It's Arc'teryx, it's Solomon. But in the mix of footwear, what hadn't been taken was flat shoes, I guess. Flat shoes or just smaller, tiny shoes. So that also became something, you know? And I guess my entire opinion on the entire trend is I actually like it. I think it looks really good, especially on girls. And depending on how a guy, you know, puts it together too, I think, you know what I'm saying? This shit could go crazy. Really, it really depends on the fit. And at this point, it also doesn't really matter because y'all ain't showing your shoe anyway. You're just showing the toe box. We can't see your shoes anymore. We can barely see the sole. You might as well just not wear, you should wear those Balenciaga things that just came with those things. You remember those? Yeah, I think I don't even know if they dropped yet. Balenciaga don't even want you to see, they want you to see your whole foot now. Just let's do flip-flops. So this next one that I got on the list is a little tricky, but that's gonna be sportswear. It's like sportswear, athletic wear, athleisure, somewhat. I don't know about everyone else's friends group, but there's been a lot of run clubs going on.
Run clubs are everywhere, with record numbers of young people taking to the streets and taking over our timelines.
View of the viral New York City run club.
Runs run clubs in New York and reviews them afterwards.
The reason the run clubs are happening, and not even I know, the run clubs have become dating hubs. Right? You go in there to meet a little, you feel me?
Make more connections. So when I saw Lunge Run Club all over TikTok, I knew I had to try it.
And have even become a dating trend for single people.
You go in there to get the, you know what I'm saying, right? You get up, get out, you got the shoes, you got the Oakleys, you off the dating app, you're like, man, I've been scrolling on these dating apps and I ain't getting no play, whatever. So you like, man, I'll go join a run club. You feel me? I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna eat right, I'm gonna look better. I already got the gear. And now a lot of brands are hopping onto this like trend, so to speak. Brands like New Balance and Hoka, Asics, Post Archive Faction are all starting run clubs. The brand Represent, which is like, I think that brand is evaluated at like $50 million or something like that. You know, regardless of what you think about the brand, they're also starting a run club. And Oakley kind of came into the picture. Y'all gonna run a marathon, y'all gonna buy some Oakley glasses. So that's what it is. And also, I guess my opinion on it is that I'm all for this trend, you know, just like athletic gear, the shoes, running shoes and all that kind of stuff. Because it's like, bro, you do better, you look better, you feel better, you smell better. Like, bro, the more healthier you are, that's the all positive. There's like, you know, say anything to you if you feel great and you look good and you're healthy. You know, that's really what matters at the end of the day. This next trend is more of a consumable product more than it is something like a fashion item that you buy, but it impacts fashion a lot, and that is going to be Ozempic. Yeah, Ozempic, GLP-1s. You know what I'm saying? Stock going through the roof right now, okay? This has been going on. I think it's like the trend itself might have been like a year and a half ago, but as it stands right now, if you're unfamiliar with what Ozempic is, if I can explain this best as my ability, Ozempic, I believe, was originally a diabetes drug, which they found out that this drug helps you to curb cravings, but it helps you to curb cravings in like really positive ways, and it also helps people to lose a lot of weight. And over I think since 2024, or the data since 2024 is that over 260 million people started using Ozempic to lose weight. That's 13% of the US population, 15 to 17% weight loss over 68 weeks generally. So people are shedding the weight. And you're like, what does this have to do with fashion? Why aren't you teaching me about, or why aren't you talking about like some new hat that's like trendy right now? The connection here is that if people are losing weight, they're looking good, they're going on run clubs, all these brands are making sportswear, some of the brands have actual run clubs themselves. It's an entire ecosystem, and on top of that, it changes consumer behavior because, you know, this past 5 years, we've gone through this like body positivity movement, regardless of what you think about that. Ozempic is like, yo, hold my beer, because these people over here, within like 60 something weeks or less or whatever, are losing 30, 40, 50 pounds and looking completely different. Jawline coming in, you know what I mean? The whole, you feel me, right? And now, instead of rocking a 36, you're like, damn, I rock a 32. Or instead of rocking a 40, I rock the 34 now. My whole closet, I gotta rebuy, I gotta sell everything, and then, you know what I mean? Now I'm going shopping. My whole wardrobe, I need to buy, sell, trade, everything. Going to Second Streets, dumping all your clothes, and you going to re-up on some smaller clothes. This is like an overall trend. This is not even just something that it's like a specific product, right? But again, you know, all I gotta say, my opinion on it, I think it's great. I think it's positive, as long as you you know what you're getting into by using Ozempic. Anyways, let's move on. This next one I've kind of been wanting to talk about, which is crazy. I already know some people are gonna be like, really? And that's Hellstar and Cortez. Yes, I talk about streetwear all the time. And it would be unjust of me to get on here and not talk about Hellstar and not talk about Cortez. I can almost squeeze Spider in there, almost, but that's a tough one. But the fan base of Hellstar and Cortez are insane. Numbers, their numbers might be up there with like Nike drops. You know what I mean? These guys got people. Y'all thought Iron Gaff and them, they got a line out the door. Hellstar and Cortez has a line so big, you gotta get the police involved. People are getting jumped. You feel me? People getting stomped out for the Nike Cortez collaboration sneaker, Air Max, whatever the hell, you know, Hirachi, whatever the hell is going on. These two brands are going dumb. Also, this trend is so big, I see more Hellstar on the street in public than I see any brand. And also Cortez is kind of getting squeezed in there. Sometimes I go to secondhand stores, they you know, people resell it and stuff like that. Maybe the footwear. Out here in the Bay anyway. I'm sure LA, maybe New York might be different, Tokyo might be different, you know, London of course, because that's, you know, where that comes from. But Hellstar, brother, it's as if Bape just dropped for the first time. Like, that's how crazy the fan base is. Now, you know, if you're watching this, you don't rock Hellstar, you don't rock Cortez, it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But they're killing the game right now. It's a more fast-paced consumption type of brand. You know, it's like something more exclusive. They do a lot of drops and stuff like that. And I don't follow it that much. But again, if you're new, Hellstar is going dumb. Shout out to them. This dude, I mean, they made like $1 million off of one drop. So, I mean, that just tells you what kind of numbers they're pushing right now. It's what it is. I don't need to say more about it. You probably have already heard about it, or maybe you're sick of it. Who knows? Moving on. All right, the next topic, or the next thing that has been trending within streetwear and fashion, I guess you can say, is gonna be drop shipping brands. And I gotta explain myself, because this is nothing new. I think right after COVID and now 2025, there has been more drop shipping streetwear brands, Instagram fashion brands, TikTok street brands, YouTube street brands, you know, I myself included. I'm not drop shipping necessarily, but I'm a category because I sell streetwear at the end of the day. There's like kind of a difference. I mean, I think there's the drop shipping type of brands that are, you know, the underlying message damn near is like profits over people. This has nothing to do with quality. This is more of a money-making quick scheme. A lot of these companies will run ads on Instagram and stuff like that, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just typically the route they do. They'll take a hoodie, maybe make it wash, they go on Alibaba. I'll probably just show you images of what I found on Alibaba, because these are brands that actually make their product on there, and then they sell it online, run the ads. Isn't really nothing too innovative. It's like probably like a star, woo star graphic or something like that, or some text of something motivational. And then also they sell a course on how to make a tech pack. Yeah. I bring this up because I guess my opinion is that streetwear became the new dope boy. You know what I'm saying? It's like way back, it was like people wanted to become a drug dealer because it was like, yo, you can make hella money doing it, or you think that you can make hella money. But then streetwear, it was legal, and a lot of people were buying stuff. After COVID, people got the PPP loans and the checks from the government. People were spending a crazy amount of money on just frivolous stuff that they thought they needed, and it birthed an entire generation of street brands that are all over the internet that we may or may not know, and apparently they make a ton of money, and they all make, not all, but a lot of them make these YouTube videos with these type of titles, you know, like how I made $30,000 in the woo, right? That's kind of what streetwear has turned into. It's somewhat, honestly, has kind of given us a bad name, especially those who have been OGs in this shit. I just hope there's, in the future, some of these kids that are starting these brands, they just have a little bit more appreciation for where this stuff really comes from and where it started. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but yeah, that's what it is. Dropshipping brands, it's popular. We don't really necessarily know what the fate of that is, but it's watering things down, and I hope it changes, especially between the brand owners, you know? Okay, so Lubu. Do I even need to like tell you what Lubu is? Like, I don't really even know how this thing got popular. I only know a couple facts about it. One, it comes from China. Two, it's brought in $1.9 billion in revenue. It's a keychain monster looking thing. Four, it's an extremely popular accessory. And this is I see this as much as I see tiny t-shirts with wide jeans. It's everywhere. I mean, if you're from the Bay, if you're, you know, Valley Fair, someone got their car bipped for the Lubu. Not even a joke. Like someone stole it out of, they don't want your registration, and they don't want that. They want the Lubu. You know what I'm saying? People line up for this stuff. Cops get involved. It's a whole thing right now. I know some people might be watching this and you're like, for real? Like, that's a fashion trend? I think it's included because if you guys remember, even stuff like Bape keychains, Fendi keychains, Louis Vuitton keychains, or just girls accessorizing their bags, and guys now rocking like the sling bag, but then they'll put like a tiny accessory on it. Or this is going from women to the men's side. You know, this is an overall popularity thing. This is big, you know what I'm saying? And I almost can't even believe I'm talking about it on here. But it's what it is, man. If you haven't seen it already, trust me when I tell you, by the time you're watching this, your algorithm's probably gonna change. You're gonna see Lubu everywhere. So, moving on. Okay, so for the next fashion trend that we got up was boots. It's not even I think, like everyone talked about this, but yeah, boots themselves, but different variations of boots. Some people are super into hiking boots, combat, military boots, designer, like inspired type boots, duck boots, almost anything. Because boots themselves, unlike a sneaker, is, in my opinion, more versatile, and you can just wear it so much easier, and it can match with so many more things than just like I don't even know, like a New Balance or an Asics. Because sometimes, depending on your sneaker, you kind of got to like sauce up the rest of your fit to like look differently sometimes, right? But with the boots, it's like, bruh, as long as you're rocking all black, you know what I mean? Like for me, I'd rather rock one pair of solid boots for a really long time and have that consistent uniform fit, so I don't have to think when I leave the house. And it's definitely a change. You know what it became? It became like a rejection of sneakers. After everyone was done with the sneakers, everyone kind of did move into that boot like segment. It went like loafer, like hard shoe, leather, and then all of a sudden boots, you know? But that's what it is. As long as you can find yourself a solid pair of boots, you be all right, man. You be all right. All right, Chrome Hearts. I know. I almost took it off the list. Chrome Hearts is not new by any means. Matter of fact, this was popular in the 90s. You know, when COVID hit, Chrome Hearts became ridiculously popular, especially with like the trendier fashion kids. And then fast forward 5 years later, I thought by now it wouldn't be as popular. No, Chrome Hearts has reached mass appeal. And you're probably like, bruh, really? You gonna bring up Chrome Hearts? Bruh, it says something when the newest Drake video, he's head to toe with more crosses than we can count. Kai Cenat, you know what I'm saying? Every, you know, NBA player or whatever is rocking Chrome Hearts. All the rappers are talking about Chrome Hearts. You know, Uzi, Cardi, like Chrome Hearts is killing it in the accessory game. It's just is so popular, and it's, again, when I say mass appeal, you go to the mall and the reselling stores got Chrome Hearts. A lot of people are paying like $22,000, $25,000, $30,000 for Levi's jeans with crosses on them, which it's funny, right? We came from this flex culture. You guys remember this photo? Remember the kid that's like, you wrap this car and it's Supreme, you know, everyone's like, oh, we don't want to do that anymore. But yet the new version of that really is, it's just Chrome Hearts.
Bro, you're not getting money if you're not spending $12,000 on a pair of Tim.
12.5.
Bro.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Chrome Hearts. What do I think about it? Do I wear it? I don't wear Chrome Hearts. Never have, never bought a piece. I see it all the time. I got a lot of homies that have been into it for a long time. Shout out Tony and Paul, like those are longtime fans. You know, been buying it since way back, since the K-pop days. You feel me? You know, Jim Jones, Dipset, right? And we're here now. So that's what it is, Chrome Hearts. You know, if you need you some silver jewelry, chrome it down. Okay, closing this video out. Thanks for tuning in. It's been over 2 years since or a year and a half, 2 years since I've made a fashion trends video, so I'm a little rusty, but I tried my best. And I'm gonna do an extended version of this on my Patreon, so go ahead and subscribe down there. I'll put the link. And you know, follow me on Instagram, all the like, you feel me? It's your boy, it ain't easy. I'm tired, and I'm going home. I'm really over editing this. Okay? Bye-bye now.